best, but I think if he does just take that extra step and trust the ball that will come back, if he moves a little further right, I think he can throw just as many strikes as Paul. But the question is Paul going to stop?
So Rivera with another spare. That's 4-9 spares in a row. Well, Paul Moor, we're hearing on his stats, has almost had no variation at all. We'll get to that in a second, but that's the scorecard so far for Rivera. One strike only, 6 spares and an open frame, and you simply can't progress in this tournament with those sort of stats, not if your opponent's bowling anywhere near par.
No, I'm sure Biboy would like to rearrange the numbers on those stats somewhat.
Now, Paul Moor has barely deviated from both his delivery technique, his delivery pattern. Everything has been the same. And that is rather like the second frame, or the third frame, sorry, for Paul Moor. Once again, leaving that 8-pin.
And I think that is the only pin that he's going to leave. If he does throw it really good, the ball is motoring back off the edge there quite sharply, and you know, I think Paul will be quite happy to leave 9 pins all day, because he's going to strike the other 8 shots.
Well, it is his job, Tenpin bowling, and he's going about his work very well indeed, is Paul Moor. Is there anything Rivera can do from here, Jason?
You know, I'd like to be very positive right now for Biboy, but it's just Paul looks so dialed in. I mean, even if Biboy does shoot the magical 300 next game, it's just still not going to be enough. I mean, Biboy needed to really strike out from the 6th frame this game to put any kind of pressure on the next game. And when Paul's swinging easy, you know, Paul throws the ball even better.
Well, left the same pin as Paul Moor last time out, but he's left a mixture of pins. Really, it's been a fascinating and eclectic mix of shots from Rivera.
Yeah, Biboy actually left the 4-pin, just a little left of the 8-pin, but a similar shot to Paul. The ball coming in a little strong and goes a little high on the head pin. It's one of those ones that you leave and you think, you know, it could have fallen, or you know, it could not have, but I'm sure Biboy's thinking, I wish it did right now.
Yeah, so not the strike that he was looking for in the foundation frame. Paul Moor off the back of a spare, but in total command at the moment. Well, that's the maximum scores that they can get over the 2 games. For this first game, the maximum score Moor can get is 258 if he strikes out from here. I'm afraid Rivera below the 200 mark at 191. So there's a huge difference between these two as it stands.
But we have seen in a previous match with Osku and Guy Kamansky that you know, a few pins adrift can be easily caught up. But you know, both Osku and Paul are the kind of guys that if they do get a lead, it's very hard to take it away from them.
Well, this might help. Possibility of an open here. What went wrong here, Jason?
It's a good question, Simon. I mean, if you had to predict what was going to happen in the 10th frame, that probably would have been 100 to 1. He looked fantastic the whole way through. Maybe a lapse of concentration. Maybe he just hit the ball a little too hard and it reacted a little early. But I don't think it'll bother him too much.
And the fruit machine spare ball doesn't do the job. So an open frame is left on that bonus. 2-3-2. Moor picks up, so it's even more crucial now for Rivera. If he has to have any chance at all in this match, he's surely got to strike out from here.
Well, what this does do is Biboy also now knows that Paul can miss. It's a big confidence booster for the other player when you do see your opponent striking all day and then finally open. So if Biboy does get these next 3 strikes, anything can happen right now. He's gone with a ball change, so we'll see what happens.
Dear. Well, he's having no luck at all. That 9-pin really swaying.
That's really unfortunate for B-Boy. You know, he made a decision to change ball and play a different part of the lane, and you know, to me it looked really good until the last 5 feet. It just jumped a little high. Again, you know, that's one of those shots that you think it's got a chance, and then when you leave the 4-9, you go, come on, give me a break.
Good try, unlucky. But that has put a serious dent in the scorecard of Biboy Rivera. 168, the best he can manage in that first game. And, well, he's going to be just a touch embarrassed about that score. You can see it. He can't quite believe it as he takes his seat. Paul Moor, though, 2-3-2, good enough for a comfortable first game lead.
He may only be 19, but Biboy Rivera is a young player with the nerve and ambition to take on the talent of Paul Moor. But can he make it through to the quarterfinals? Find out after the break.
Well, we thought this game was going to be a fascinating encounter between Biboy Rivera and Paul Moor, and it has been, but not quite for the reasons that we thought. That first game score, Jason, of 168 for Rivera, that's, well, he just wouldn't even expect to bowl that in the course of a year.
Well, I definitely didn't expect it. When I saw B-Boy practicing, I thought he had a really good reaction, and I really expected this game to be really close. But like I said before, B-Boy is one of those guys that digs in, and you know, a lot can happen in 10 frames, so we'll just have to wait and see.
It's not a great start, but it's especially important with this Barnsley crowd that you leave them with something to remember you by, isn't it? You were having a bit of fun at the end of your game yesterday, and the crowd love that.
Well, the crowd makes the show. Without the guys watching, you know, it's not exciting for us to bowl in. So, and with this environment where they're so close to you, you can interact with them so easily. And yeah, I definitely try to interact the crowd as much as possible because you know, I know they want to enjoy bowling as much as I want to enjoy their company.
Well, they're not backward at coming forward, this Barnsley crowd. If you've made a great shot, they'll let you know. But you'll also get the odd bit of advice, won't you, if you've made a bad one?
Yeah, a few times you get heckled. But, you know, as an Australian in England, I'm used to that.
Great stuff.
But it's okay. It all turns around, just like the Ashes did.
Oh, I knew you'd go there. Paul Moor, then, to open up his second game. And Rivera, well, he's almost run out of options now. Just get back to route one. Try and find that A game, B-Boy. And try and make Paul Moor think about this. 258 was what Paul Moor could have finished with in the first game, but he finished up with 232. Slightly disappointing finish and an open at the end. And he's left, finally, the 7-pin.
Yeah, it looks like he threw that a little faster and a little wider. It definitely started to roll a little later down the lane, and the 4-pin didn't do its job, went right around the 7. But I mean, that's a good thing to happen if you throw it a little wider and a little faster, that you can still get to the pocket. So I'm sure Paul is quite happy with that result.
Yeah, definitely suggested a minor change from Paul Moor, having been so consistent during the whole of that first game until that closing frame. Rivera, though, with a mountain to climb. What has he got? Has he got anything that could put pressure on this man from England?
Well, if he does, it needs to start right now. If B-Boy wants to put any kind of pressure on Paul, he needs to strike on this frame and turn around and let Paul know about it.
And there it is, right on cue. He must have heard you, Jack.